Hey, welcome back to the Menopause Method. My name is Cam Allen, and I'm your tour guide through menopause. My approach is holistic. It's a little mind, body, and spirit for your soul so you can thrive during menopause. I'm glad you're here. We are going to talk about this one thing, and you may be wondering, what does this seriously have to do with menopause? And we're going to talk about transforming your perspective, shifting how you think about things, shifting how you think about yourself. Because when I know this is true, when your perspective changes, everything changes. Possibilities open up and it gives you back your power. You're going to turn your struggles into actually growth opportunities. So let's get into it. Have you ever heard the quote, if you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change? That's from the late, great Wayne Dyer. I have many of his books back here on my bookshelf. And the biggest perspective, the thing that I see the most is, do you have this mindset of why is this happening to me? Like, oh, and you're Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Or are you more like, why is this happening for me? What can I learn about myself, my health? Unpeel another onion layer of yourself, really get to the meat of it. I'm going to give you some specific examples to see which camp you fall into and how can you move to having a broader perspective, like a growth mindset, if you will. So let's start with food. So let's say you eat something and you feel absolutely crummy afterwards. You feel really full, your belly is puffed out, you feel bloated, and you just feel really blah. So one attitude is like, why is this happening to me? Like, this stinks. I can't eat anything anymore. Every time I eat something, I feel horrible. Like that kind of mindset. Or you could say, why is this happening for me? So let's talk about the actual food. Maybe you're eating something that isn't agreeing with you anymore. Menopause changes your gut health. So maybe that's it. Or let's even go broader and let's think about the situation when you were eating. Were you rushed? Were you able to sit down and enjoy your food and enjoy the company at your table? Were you able to put down your fork? Or were you really rushed and eating too fast and you even forgot to chew or taste your food? That happens. Or maybe the people at your table upset you. And believe it or not, that'll affect your digestion. So that's just one idea. Like when you eat food, I want you to take a pause and you feel crummy. Take a pause, take a step backwards and say, okay, was it the situation I was eating in? Could that be the problem? Or maybe it was the actual food I was eating. So that's one example. Here's a workout example for you. Let's say you do a workout, a strength training workout, which we're going to talk about in the next episode. And you notice you are super sore the following days, maybe injured, you're like, what is happening here? One idea would be like, why is this happening to me? Every time I try to exercise, I feel horrible, and really getting down on yourself. Or you could say, why is this happening for me? Maybe you need to warm up a little more. Maybe you need to stretch after you work out. Maybe, I love this one, you actually used a weight that's challenging your muscles and you're not injured. You're just growing more muscles. And that's a beautiful thing in menopause. And here's another one. Let's talk about people, like who's in your inner circle. So have you ever noticed when you leave people, you have more energy? Those are your people. Stick with them. They're for you. They increase your energy. You leave them and you feel empowered. Or when you leave people and you feel exhausted and you just need a nap and maybe you're crabby. Those people aren't your people anymore. And it's okay that it changes. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about, this is my favorite tool, actually. The book is called The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It is a great business book, but I can totally see how this applies to health coaching or, working on your goals. Are you thinking about the gain over the gap? So when we focus on the gap, we're talking about what we're missing, kind of like, why is this happening to me? That same kind of mindset. When we focus on the gain, we're talking about the win. Like we're focusing on the little things that are actually helping us reach our goals. I love focusing on the wins. The shift helps you celebrate your progress and it keeps you motivated. It shows you where you're going. And I'm taking steps to that. If you're focused on the gap, like, well, I'm not there yet. I'm not to my ideal weight. I can't lift that weight. I feel crummy. Like all of that is a very negative mindset. You're focusing on the lack versus on what you are accomplishing. Here's the thing, like I set intentions with my clients in my groups and in my one-on-one. And my job is to help you see the future and help mirror back, if you will, all the things that you are doing to show up and reach your goals. Now, I am not you're not going to reach your goals fast. Like, no, we're working on lifestyle changes and shifts so that this is long-term change. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in long-term change, no fads, no fast, anything like that. When you focus on your progress, you get to celebrate that and it helps you stay motivated, which is a really big deal. Many women feel trapped by their old beliefs that no longer serve them. Like, for example, your lifestyle. I used to be able to do XYZ. And now if I do XYZ, I'm exhausted. I have a headache. I feel bloated and blah, like all those things. If it's not 100% true 100% of the time, I want you to understand that it's just a belief. And many of these beliefs are limiting beliefs. They keep you small and not like expanding into your glory, expanding into your power. One thing that really helped me going through a divorce in my 40s was remembering that I am the thinker and not the thoughts. You know, one of the things about menopause is like runaway thoughts and how we just repeat those in our head over and over and over again. And realizing that I was the thinker, the human, and I was not the thought, all the thoughts that were going through my head, that was super helpful for me. Another way to look at it is, okay, a cloudy day. And you could say, oh, where's the sun? The sun's gone forever. It's never coming back again. Or you could understand your thoughts are kind of like the clouds. And as soon as the clouds pass, which they do, they always pass, then you're back to a sunny day. So just as soon as those thoughts pass, you can observe them like a passing cloud in front of the sun. And then you realize that they're separate from you. It doesn't define you as a human. Okay, so that's the first step in getting into your mind and thinking about your mindset. In the next episode, we're going to talk about bringing it to the physical realm, like physical tips, practical tips on supporting your body through menopause. So check out that next episode on fitness and movement in menopause, and I'll see you then.